Howdy. I don't know what, what's funny is I literally pointed myself in. Like, usually there's a peel back. Welcome to the pre-show before the free show. There's a peel back on how things work around here. It's like when we're getting close, I give Tep like a literal like countdown like this, and then I point at him. So when that was coming quicker than I thought that it was, I pointed, but I didn't need to because I knew it was coming on. Hi, Greggs.
Hi. It is. It's us. It's a pair of Greggs wearing black. That's what we do. Look at us.
Twinning.
We match. Twinning. If I could look more like Greg Powers, I would.
If I could look more like Greg Tepper, I would.
That's what this is. Do you just love this pickle?
I can barely hear Powers, so something's wrong with that cable.
Oh, God.
It's been doing this.
Hold on. Let's see. You're listening to live coverage of us figuring out. This is why we do a pre-show go. You know what I mean? Because what we're going to do, test the equipment before the show? No, we're not. We're not going to test the equipment. Anyway, welcome to the pre-show for the free show.
Adam's coming in here. Adam's trying to get me to see if I could go in his office for a meeting. Like,
what?
Bruh. He goes, show. I was like, yeah.
Dude, we've been doing a show for, like, literally 6 years and 51 weeks. A week from today, by the way, is the 7-year anniversary of DCTF Live.
I think I got you now. I think the way...
Sorry, folks.
There we go.
Thank God.
I think it was that the XLR cable was being squozed by the holder.
Squozed.
Yeah,
now it's not being squozed.
So this is the 1400...
This is the XLR cable?
Yes.
Okay.
You learned something today.
Nice.
Attaboy.
This is the 1476th episode of DCTF Live, Texas Football Today, whatever you want to call this. We've been doing it literally every day for almost 7 years.
When did you say the anniversary was? I'm sorry.
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. All right.
Wednesday. I have some ideas. We'll talk.
1456, you say?
We'll talk
1476.
1476. And that man, the one who just tried to call you into a meeting, has been here the entire time. So he has no excuse.
I haven't even been here the entire time.
He's been here much longer than you. Longer than Powers, longer than literally
To be fair, we
else.
haven't done the pre-show for all of those. I know that y'all did a pre-show at one point, and then you
Okay, but
stopped
what's
doing
his-
it, right? Yes.
Love our boss. But what's his plan?
I don't
Is he
know.
going to pull you in and be like, hey, by the way, I have a show in 90 seconds. So could you wrap this thing up?
I'm happy to say I've done the math.
Oh?
I'm just guessing.
Math Wednesday.
I've been on 15% of the shows. If
That
you're
would
doing
make sense.
1,476. I think I'm around 200, 225 shows at this point.
Have y'all been doing Cruton since day
When
one?
did you start coming on the show?
Oh, wow. I mean, you're really... I mean, right away, right as soon as I got here.
Yeah,
First
but we did,
Wednesday.
we've only been doing, this week in Cruton, just,
Yeah.
spectacular ratings boosting
It's
segment.
been almost 4 years, I think.
Yeah, we've been doing it for about half. Yeah. I might knock that down to 10, but I'm not gonna.
Well, I'm in between 10 and 15. I just
I would
used a
say-
quick number on
I think that's fair.
my iPhone calculator to...
Yeah, I think
The
so.
craziest time
I've probably been on,
mess up
98%.
in our in my brain that I just can't wrap my mind around. We talked about this the other day. We are quickly approaching the point to where I have done more TFT episodes as the producer than
Max.
Poochie,
Mhm.
which is that it
Mhm.
does not feel like it's been that long. Now, a good solid year and a half of that was spent doing it from my a good year of it was spent doing it
Yeah.
from my living room, so that makes it a little bit different.
Yeah, it makes it stranger. Yeah, no, this show's gone on too long. I agree with all you guys. Every point you make is great. We had photo day yesterday. We also had so here's the thing. The boys, my lads, Hank and Max, they had photo day at school yesterday. They had picture day. So they get all gussied up. Hank was very excited to get his photo taken. Max did not know what was going on, except that he was being put into itchy clothes. But they were very excited. And now you've had a 3.5-year-old boy before.
Yeah,
correct?
that was a long time ago.
All right. I want you to think about I want you to think back and remember what an unreliable narrator he was. Because, of course, my wife and I have plenty of questions whenever they come home. Hey, how'd picture day go? Things like that. And Hank is offering answers that, if true, are very troubling. So, for example, we sent them in. For Max, we sent clothes with them because, wanted them to be in the clothes for that long, stuff like that. And so they were going to change him into it. And so we sent him with sent him in some blue pants.
Yeah.
And then we sent him with some khaki pants, right? And so
And pants is a relative term because
Right.
homie ain't even one yet.
Exactly. I mean, he's worn
Pants-like things.
He's worn pants
Yeah.
6 times in his life.
Yeah.
But this is one of them. And so we asked Hank, we're like, hey, so you took some photos with your brother, right? And he's like, yeah, he kept trying to crawl away. And it's okay, troubling. I get it, he's on the move and things like that, but hopefully you got a couple photos and stuff like that. He kept trying to crawl away. Okay, that's great. Well, was he wearing his brown pants? No, he was wearing blue pants. At which point my wife is like, wait a second. Did they not change him into clothes? And I have to remind my wife, I'm like, honey, do you think it is more likely that our 3-year-old son is spitting bull?
Yeah.
Or do you think it's more likely that the teachers who love and care about Max and want him to be very cute just said, forget these pants. I'm going to keep him in these pants. Let's use Occam's razor here.
And
This kid is not a reliable narrator.
And you won't know until you find out.
Right.
Until you get those pictures back.
Next week's Judgment Day, and then I'm gonna confront Hank and say, "You see these brown pants?
They're brown, Hank. They're brown.
They're brown."
Teach him to be a reporter.
Exactly. You got to be accurate.
Yeah, he's
Usually.
this is the difference between Hank being a capital J journalist or a lowercase j journalist, and this is
He's a
this is
lowercase
big
J
time.
journalist. He's a blogger, man. You can't you can't trust him. All right, hit the theme expo. Pickle. Hit the arid sign. Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Louisville, Texas, it is Texas Football Today, a show on the internet. My name's Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, a magazine, texasfootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live, texasfootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all the places, or you'll listen to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local, mediocre internet show. I'm sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. She is the Duchess of the Dorks. She's Miss 305. She's Ashley Pickle.
I just still feel like that's a lie, but hello, friends. It was a week ago today that I was able to see Mr. Bull. And,
Senior Bull.
Dale.
Dale, indeed. And sitting to my right, stage left, right?
I don't know.
Whatever.
That part always confused me.
Stage left.
I took theater, a class.
He is the recruiting analyst for Dave Campbell's Texas Football. He's very busy on the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Rising magazine. It is Greg Powers.
Oh, I'm supposed to be doing something for Rising?
What's that? Never heard of her.
I have a little bit of breaking news. Can I offer you some breaking news? You don't need to do the sound or anything. It's not that important.
Oh.
It's not football breaking news, but it's breaking news that you are going to find very funny.
Okay.
So yesterday was Dave Campbell's Texas Football Photo Day. We had our friend Becca Egger from Cast Iron Photography come in to take some more headshots and take some group shots and things like that, right? She just texted me and said that the photos were the photos are done and where can we send them? Need some email addresses. And I say, great. She goes, this is a direct quote, "Is Craven going to hate me if I make his photo the cover of the gallery?" To which I replied, "Oh, he will. Please do." So I'm looking at the gallery right now. Guess who you see?
Let's go. That's even better.
We're here to make people's dreams come true. Today is Wednesday, October 12th, 2022, 43 days until Thanksgiving. Happy birthday to King Edward VI and also to TikTok star. There was somebody who was a TikTok star.
Wasn't King Edward VI?
You got to be careful with this, I think.
Luna Bloom. Wasn't King Edward VI what?
I know there was one King Edward that was a real piece of doo-doo. Was that him? Was it the sixth one? I should have known that I studied this, but I can't remember. It's been a hot minute.
He was the one who he was
the
instrumental in transforming the Church of England to a largely Protestant institution.
Okay, then no, that's not that one. Maybe it's the sixth.
It was over a period of war and rebellion. He was the Tudor dynasty's third ruler.
Tudor?
Is this all helpful?
No.
Are you talking about the Braveheart?
No, you're thinking of King Henry VIII.
Eighth. That's exactly what it is.
King Henry VIII was a real
he was awful
because
we toured his whole living quarter thing, and I mean, one, it was unbelievable, but two, he was just a real bad fellow.
Yeah, he married
the eighth. That's what
married
it was.
6 women.
My apologies to King Edward VI. I didn't mean to put bad good job. For
no, shout out to
Protestant
6.
Stuff.
Shout out to Ed 6, wherever you are. I'm sorry. He died at the age of 15.
Edward I must have been a great guy.
Oh, he died at the age of 15.
15?
In 1553. So he's been dead for a while. So a moment of silence for King Edward VI. On today's show, folks, we've got This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers and Next Level App. Well, I just found out that he was dead. I thought that was the next thing to do.
It was Powers bowing his head. It was so good.
Sorry.
We got This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, Next Level Athlete. And then we're going to hear from Clemson commit, Rockwall wide receiver Noble Johnson, who's going to talk about Dabo Swinney. Does he like him? Does he not? Find out soon in a moment, Clemson fans. Stay tuned. We'll have that coming up here at the back half of the program. Do we have first four through the door?
We sure do. It was Miss Terry Adams, Richard Glenn, Daniel Agnew, and Coach Terry Crawford. What a group. Welcome in, fellas and lady fellas.
That is an OG group. Who's Abbott? I presume Abbott is one of the million teams that are off this week. Yeah, they're open. It is. By the way, this is the second biggest open date of the year. As far as numbers are concerned, it's like 18% of the state. But a big reason why is half of the 6-man world is off. So it's that's 75 of the 150 6-man teams are off. So that's why the numbers are so swelled. Anyway. Shall we? I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers. This is This Week in Recruiting. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers and Next Level Athlete. Follow him on Twitter at GPowerScout. Follow Next Level Athlete on Twitter, Next Level D1. See his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. And, of course, this is brought to you by our good chicken friends at Chicken Express. Chicken Express. I owe an apology to my friends in the studio. And not to Chicken Express. I've said nothing bad about Chicken Express. I'm only going to say good things about Chicken Express. For the better part of the last year, you guys had been trying to get me to try the mozzarella sticks at Chicken Express. And I'm here to tell you that you were right all along. They're great.
They're awesome.
They're
They
really
are good mozzarella sticks.
They're very good. And Pickle, you of all people, as the mozzarella stick connoisseur around here.
Mott's.
They're excellent. And I want to apologize to you personally for not trying them sooner.
Thank you. You called me your friend. That was cool. You've never done that before, and you just did it live on camera.
Good thing is I control the podcast. So, This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, the Next Level Athlete. A lot to get to in this week's edition of This Week in Recruiting. Let's start with our prospect. Which one is it?
Prospect on the
Rise. We're going to Ennis. For the first time ever, Ennis has a quarterback prospect. Quarterback Jackson Gilkey. He is committed to UTSA this week. He did that over offers from places like Houston, like Arkansas State, like Tulane, like San Diego State, Incarnate Word, Sam Houston. We've got him as the number 10 quarterback prospect in the 2023 rankings. This season has not gone to as well as Ennis fans were hoping this year, but Jackson Gilkey has certainly put up his fair share of numbers. And I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like the headline here is UTSA beat out Houston for a quarterback, and that should be pretty impressive.
Well, that is an impressive fact. Yes, the thing that I like about Gilkey is his arm strength. He's a strong, stout kid. He's hard
6'2", 200.
Yeah, it's hard to bring down. Not easily tackleable. And I've gotten the chance to watch him in some camps and some workouts and that kind of stuff. He really does have or delivers a great fastball. So I think that his upside is pretty high because he has already developed the requisite arm strength that you need to be a success in college. And Ennis isn't having the year that I think some people expected this year, but he's been their quarterback for a while now. He's racked up his fair share of wins. He's a guy who can win games. And I think this is a good get for UTSA in general. One thing I didn't put into the written report, he had a lot of Ivy League offers, so he's a real smart kid as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, great student athlete.
Yeah. He is he's a star and a guy that UTSA is going to be pretty happy to have. Jackson Gilkey has pulled the triggers for the Roadrunners. Let's roll on to our commit of the week. That was a commit. But
it was. I snuck one in.
But he was our prospect.
Snuck one in on you.
But he was our prospect on the rise. This is our commit of the week.
Snuck one in this week.
The titles don't mean anything, guys. These are just prospects we want to talk about. It's Dallas Episcopal outside linebacker Trey Williams. He committed this week to Stanford. A lot of Pac-12 and Big 12 offers on his list, including Cal, Michigan, Nebraska, and Utah. We got him as a DCTF 3-star, 86 in the DCTF Hot 100. But this is a guy who I think his game is pretty well-rounded, and what he does everything pretty darn well, and the upside's pretty strong.
They use him in a lot of different ways at Parish Episcopal, and I was trying to write the scouting report for this one, and it's easier to talk about what he does versus write about what he does because he's so versatile, and he's a guy who's like a team leader. They put his hand in the dirt, they stand him up on the edge, they'll use him at middle linebacker depending upon what's going on. He's very instinctual, he's very smart. I think he's going to be one of the highest risers outside of, he's in our Hot 100 now. I don't know if he's in any of the other Texas top 100 lists. I think he's a guy that a lot of the recruiting sites will take a strong look at based around his senior film, and he may get a bump just because he's so good. And I think that you saw in that very first clip that we watched how quick he is off the edge and how fast he can get to the quarterback, and his tape is full of these types of plays. And one thing that I have to give Parish Episcopal credit for this season is that they really played a murderous schedule at the beginning of the year. I think they went 3-1 versus a lot of state champions and teams that were really high that we hold in high esteem.
They're still the number 1 team in the prep school rankings.
Oh yeah, I think that they're the. I mean,
so
I'm not picking against them to win the TAPS champion. I don't know who could topple them.
Here's what they did in non-district. They beat Aledo. They beat Bel Air Episcopal, which is not only like it's turning into a bit of a rivalry game between those two as well. They beat them. They beat Austin LBJ. They lost to South Oak Cliffs on the last second field goal.
Yep.
Right, and then they beat China Spring. They snapped China Spring's 20-game winning streak. So yes,
I was at the South Oak Cliff game, and that was a back and forth contest. That South Oak Cliff. I mean, when they trotted the field goal, I think it was a 46-yard field goal that beat them, and people were surprised that they were even attempting the field goal, I think. And then, I mean, it was just tried and true right down the middle. Parrish was kind of shocked in that one, because it was a back and forth game, and South Oak Cliff caught fire at the end. But what was that, 3 state title teams from last year?
For sure.
So, I mean, he's tested.
Yes.
He's battle tested against really good players.
Keep an eye on him. He's the new Stanford commit, Dallas Parish Episcopal outside linebacker Trey Williams. Of course, Stanford has good history of coming to the DFW Metroplex.
And the players they get usually are good.
Absolutely. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, the next level athlete here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today. Let's go to our underclassmen of the week. Our underclassmen of the week is Duncanville's edge rusher, defensive end, linebacker. He's that new hybrid thing, right?
Yep.
Where it's like kind of stand him up wherever you want him or put his hand in the dirt, whatever you need. Colin Simmons. The headline here is that he is our new DCTF 5-star in the class of 2024. Elevated there. He's already got offers from everyone. Texas, Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Oklahoma State, or Ohio State, Oklahoma, TCU, etc. He won't be done. He's going to get offers from everyone. He's a monster, and now he's a 5-star monster.
He could go anywhere he wants. No matter who you had on the commitment list, if Colin Simmons wants to come to your school, you're just going to say okay, right? I described him after watching him this past week versus Waxahachie as a terror, and that was a game that I had circled on my schedule. I was wanting to go to that game to see how he fared, to see if he would be our next 5-star, and he easily passed it. I had a strong suspicion this was going to happen after watching him on TV versus South Oak Cliff, where he had an amazing game. But he's even more impressive in person. He's added some good weight to his frame. I mean, 225 is probably pretty accurate, but he might be sneaking up to 230. We had some of our crew from DCTF giving away a scholarship out of the game, and these guys were blown away with just how he looked just walking around in the pregame. They were like, who's that guy?
Yeah.
He's that type of player. And it's a little bit too early to guess where he may end up playing in college, but there's some out-of-state schools that I think that have made an impression on him. Georgia, LSU, to name a couple, and then in-state you have Texas, Texas A&M. Oklahoma's always a factor, I think, with kids from Duncanville, the DFW. But, I mean, TCU might be a school to keep a close eye on this one. I know that he tweeted that when he didn't go, he was pretty sad he didn't go to the TCU-OU game whenever TCU, won that game very handily. So just maybe those are some schools to keep an eye on this recruitment, but of course he can go wherever he wants.
Colin Simmons, not the last you're going to hear of this young man. Let's round it all out with our recruit of the week. Our recruit of the week is one of the Ashley Pickle man crushes this year.
Dude, he's got my stamp of approval. This kid is awesome.
It's
on and off the field. He's very nice.
North Crowley tight end Kamorian Pimpton. He is the newest member of the DCTF Hot 100. He vaults up to number 71 in the state. He's our number 2 ranked tight end. He is a Vanderbilt commit, but he's continuing to get more offers, including recently big offers from places like LSU, Washington, and Auburn. Bless you.
Thank you.
But if Ashley Pickle likes you, then you're a dude.
I got to give credit where credit's due. This is Ish's guy, too.
Yeah.
Himpton, he called him.
Yeah. He's Himpton. I get it.
Himpton.
I get it.
Gosh darn it.
Love
his
his
size is crazy.
Love his senior tape, and what an addition to the North Crowley offense, right? Like if this is a guy that you get to come in the offseason, you got to be pretty stoked about the nature of things, and what his tape is amazing. I mean, this is just one that I could just be quiet and you guys could watch it and you would quickly understand why he's elevated within the rankings. I think more noticeably even where he sits within the state, which we kind of touched upon, like if you're in the top 75 this year, you're probably a 4-star talent, is that now he's the number 2 overall tight end in the state of Texas, which that's, putting you a pretty elite company. And he's not just should be looked at as strictly a tight end. He's more of a flex to me. He's a guy who you're going to create mismatches with. Whether you split him out wide or put him in the slot, linebackers are not going to be able to cover this guy. And if you have a red zone opportunity, there's maybe no one in the state that you would rather have than Pimpton on your offense whenever you're trying to score a touchdown in the red zone.
His hands are unbelievable.
Big, strong. He's pretty fast. He's a physical freak.
Yes, entirely agree. He is a physical freak and a guy who Vanderbilt commit for now.
Holding on tight, but holding on tight, but I don't know.
I'm calling him every day.
Yeah,
I'm texting him.
Oh,
like, hey,
I bet you they are.
You up?
He gets those boxes of letters, like personal letters from everybody on the Vanderbilt staff. I guarantee it. But this is a guy that people are going to be hot after as National Signing Day or the early signing period approaches in December.
One guy that we're always hot after here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football is Greg Powers, our recruiting analyst. Pickle is nodding over there. She's like, she agrees. She's like, we are.
Yeah.
Follow him on Twitter at GPowerScout. Follow Next Level Athlete on Twitter at Next Level D1. See his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. Stick around because I need you to introduce your guest.
I'll do it.
Thanks. We're Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Coming up here in just a minute, we're going to hear from Rockwall wide receiver Noble Johnson and hear his thoughts on his commitment to Clemson and all that implies. But first, Pickle, Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Parker University recognized 10 high school football athletes who made key plays, leading their team to the win. Each week we review film, stat lines, and top plays to find the player with the game-winning decision of the week. That platform includes a game ball, a presentation, as well as a $250 check to support the school's athletic program. And once again, we have a winner.
To stay undefeated in district play with 6 seconds on the clock. Can he do it? Jaden Hardy is the holder. Hoya has it down. It is up. It's got the distance. He got it, and it's good! Freddie Hoya is good with no time on the clock. The senior comes in clutch for the Fighting Farmers, and Louisville stays undefeated in district play.
Freddie Hoya booted through a 49-yard game-winning field goal for Louisville as time expired to keep the Farmers unbeaten in district play with a 15-14 win over Plano West, and that is good enough to be the Dave Campbell's Texas Football game-winning decision of the week, presented by Parker University Sports and Performance Center Clinic and Synapse Human Performance Center. Congratulations to Freddie Hoya of Louisville, this week's recipient of the Dave Campbell's Texas Football game-winning decision of the week, presented by Parker University. Now, a word from our friends at VCR Now.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, gosh.
Hi.
Oh, my gosh.
Hi.
Wait a second.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texas loves doing business with fellow Texans. VCR Now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR Now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW.
Powers, who'd you chat to this week?
We caught up with the man with 56 scholarship offers.
Oh.
56. That's Rockwall wide receiver Noble Johnson, who's made his commitment to Clemson.
Let's hear from Noble Johnson of Rockwall here on Texas Football Today.
Greg Powers, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and man, a hard-fought win tonight for Rockwall versus Mesquite Horn. Man, they came out feisty in the second half. Just kind of talk about your team's resilience to pull it out, make some big plays down the stretch.
I would say that we came out a little flat-footed in the second half, and I feel like I take accountability for that because I feel like I'm a leader. I should have stepped up in the locker room to get everyone's heads right. But overall, the second half went the way that we wanted it to. We started getting our plays right. We started executing well, and we started converting and just moving down the field, and we got our rhythm back. So it was pretty good.
Against the competition you guys play, not every game's going to be easy. You got to be tested, battle-tested when playoffs come around. So these are the type of games that maybe get you ready for a playoff scenario. I know y'all have state championship aspirations. What are you guys working on week in, week out to get ready to win the next game every week?
To win the next game, I feel like that this team is already built. We're doing good. We're doing fine. But it's just self-inflicted penalties that just keep on eating us away. So I feel like once we get that down, which we're working good at, we should be set. We should be 100%.
Since the last time we did an interview, man, you made your commitment to Clemson, a big time call for you. You're going to be playing for one of the top teams in the entire country. What was that process like for you? What was it about Clemson?
The process, it was overall just amazing. It was
like 30-something. It was crazy.
I ended at 56.
56 offers, maybe the most offered guy in Texas.
I mean, I don't know. But what sold it for me was Coach Grisham, Coach Swinney. They're really down-to-earth people. They really don't care about football, despite how far they went with football, and they're really just looking for a person that fits the Clemson lifestyle. And it's just overall an amazing place to be at, really.
I got to ask you, so we're not in South Carolina. We got a lot of teams close to here. We watch college football all the time. I mean, people who are watching this are college football fans. Let's not lie, right? I'm a college football fan. Dabo Swinney.
Yes, sir.
Is that the Dabo Swinney that you see on TV? Is that the same Dabo that you see in real life?
Yeah. Yeah, he's how do I put this in? He's the same person throughout any situation. On TV, football, at home, talking to my parents talking to him and his wife. He's the exact same person. He's a believer. He has a strong relationship with God, and you can tell that it's the right place to be.
Does that help with your parents and the coaches?
Oh, it does. Jesus, that's who I give it all to. I'm not going to be here without him. So I give all the honor and glory to him, and I'm glad to move it on to Clemson, and we can just fulfill that dream.
No doubt. In the national championship hunt, I know you're watching every game every week. Have you been out there on a visit yet this season? If not, when do you want to go?
I have not been out to an official visit yet, but I'm planning my official visit for the South Carolina versus Clemson game.
Okay, rivalry.
So I really want to see that rivalry. I know it's going to be lit.
Clemson has really focused on Texas a lot. Last year they signed Cade Klubnik. This year they got one of the top wide receivers in the country when you gave your verbal commitment. One of the top offensive linemen in the country, Ian Reed, gave. What is it about Clemson that's been able to give them some success, you feel like, to have kids from Texas go so far away and feel comfortable there?
Texas ball is all about football, and nobody really cares about you as a person, and Clemson really takes their time out to know who you are as a person.
Noble Johnson, he's all in with Rockwall. He's all in with Clemson, man.
Yes,
thanks for the time. Congrats on your decision to play there, and also good luck with the rest of your senior season.
Thank you.
There is Noble Johnson, already wearing orange, so he must love Clemson.
You know what? Rockwall produces good wide receivers.
They do.
Hot
take.
Name another one.
It's hard to do. It's very
it's
hard
tough.
to do.
Tough. Anyway, we appreciate Noble Johnson. Jackson Smith-Jigba is watching this for some reason. He's just like furious. Anyway, we appreciate Noble Johnson catching up with us. Pickle, the time has come to nominate the Texas high school football players that you believe should be on our 2022 Whataburger Super Team. That's right, Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Whataburger are proud to team up to honor the best and brightest Texas high school football stars with the 2022 Whataburger Super Team. And it's all in your hands. My hands have nothing in them. It's in your hands. Nominate the players that you think should be on the 40-player Whataburger Super Team by going to texasfootball.com/whatasuperteam. That's texasfootball.com/whatasuperteam. Nominations close on November 1st, so the end of the month. when only players who are nominated to be eligible are on the ballot. So if you email me on November 3rd and like your favorite player is not on the ballot and you didn't submit him, I'm gonna send you a snarky email. I'm gonna write it back to you.
We'll just cut this clip.
Go to texasfootball.com/whatasuperteam today to nominate your favorite player. Let's go over to Miss 305, the Duchess of the Dorks, Ashley Pickle, for America's second favorite segment. Final thoughts?
Can you ask Powers? You don't have to do this. This is the question. Can
Nice.
you ask Powers how long one should microwave a cinnamon bun?
Ooh, great question.
Ooh, that's a it's a loaded question because there's so many different kinds of cinnamon. I'm assuming cinnamon bun is just like your normal Pillsbury,
Yeah, like singular.
like the small singular cinnamon buns, not a Cinnabon, which is completely
That's different.
different
That's
and takes a lot more microwave time. 6 seconds.
I like it. Well, and that's.
I love that this. I love
If you put two side by side, you're going into the 8 to 9 seconds
I
range.
might even do 10.
Yeah, you might have to do 10 for two.
Well, it also.
I love this journey for you of going from recruiting analyst to microwave expert.
It also too. Cinnabons are one of those things. Okay, when you make them, say you just have Pillsbury and you're just making the whole thing. Are you putting the frosting on all of them, or are you like individually doing them?
I frost them all,
Yeah.
but I have a very...
Because then if you're trying to reheat them, then the frosting's already on there, and that kind of stinks.
I mean, if you do 6 seconds, it's not going to melt off. That's my...
Okay, that's fair.
why I'm saying 6 seconds. If you do 8
holds-
seconds, then
holds
it's going to start to
integrity.
come from the middle and
Yeah, and you don't
slide
want to
off or
disintegrate
melt in.
almost the frosting.
Melt in, but I have a special tip for these. I do a layer of butter, then icing.
Oh my God,
He's
he doesn't miss.
This is why he's our mountain. Bryce Foster went down in
Miss
the A&M
once,
game late in
please.
that drive, and I just thought I was like, well,
No one's
there's
taking down our
there's
mountain.
one mountain down.
If
but
you
can't
try
take
it,
down
you
our
won't go
mountain.
back. I mean, the butter is clutch for the Pillsbury cinnamon rolls.
Your wife's a lucky woman.
She is.
It's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbells. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbells, and of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks again to Rockwall wide receiver Noble Johnson for being our guest. For Ashley Pickle and Greg Powers. What was I trying to say?
Greg Pepper.
Greg Powers. I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please meet your Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you tomorrow on Texas Football Today.